Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully. Mr. Tully, I was just talking to Laura about the just the web that we see associated there in all of this, in these documents. But she also mentioned how we knew some of these names already, that there's no new information there as far as those names. But it is actually shocking to see it actually in print.
Sure, yes. I think it's almost two different sides to this. On one hand, there's really nothing new here. Most of this was known, and the new things that we do know, we don't know much about them. There are names that are mentioned, and that's it. It doesn't mean they're guilty. It doesn't mean they're involved. It can mean that, but we don't know anything right now. On the other hand, what is very significant is that the dirty laundry that the people that we look up to appear to operate on is now undeniable. And I think we're all sort of taking that in and digesting that.
And I'm glad that you pointed out once again, as we have in our reporting, that name ID alone does not a crime make. We're seeing names like Tipper Gore, Kate Blanchett, and you would like to think that it was nothing more than that name possibly coming up in a different conversation, right? It could have been as simple as that with that association.
Correct. These are names of people that are mentioned somewhere. So it could be somebody said somebody's name, and that's it. George Lucas was one of them. His name is mentioned, but there's no allegations of wrongdoing in these documents at all.
Does the releasing of these names and these documents, does this help or hurt the claims made by Ms. Ghislaine, or is her situation done? Like, we don't need to worry about her seeking any type of remediation or anything in this particular situation?
Her court cases are done at this point, and she's settled her cases. Her allegations against Alan Dershowitz, for instance, were dismissed. And however, her allegations against Prince Andrew were settled. So her situation is done. But again, I think this is just really bringing the depth or the tip of the iceberg to the public's attention. That, look, this is undeniable. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is how our leaders, the people that we put forward as leaders, have been operating. This is a circle of how they act.
Joseph, I know that media has been trying to get in touch with former President Bill Clinton, who is vacationing or out of the country right now. What would you advise, before I let you go, with your experience, what would you advise to those who may be listed or may be named? How do you move forward? Because I have to believe there's a shame aspect associated with this. What would your advice be?
Sure. So my advice would be to not say anything. As much as it is human nature to want to defend yourself, I would say don't say anything, don't give any response. There's so many names mentioned. Information is like inflation. The more points of data that are out there, it devalues every other one. Let yourself get lost in the sea of what's going on. Let it come out. Let it play out all the way. Don't play your cards until the end.
Joseph Tully, seasoned defense attorney, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.